Hello Python programmers. So this is the video 8th of a Python basic series for beginners, and in this video we're gonna discuss about list manipulation. So before starting off this video, let's see that what are the topics that we have already covered in this video series, like a small recap. So in the first video we have seen that what is the introduction of Python or the introduction of programming. I have explained that what is a programming language, how is Python good, how is Python bad, and why I have choose Python, and then the installation process. In the second video we have seen the fundamentals of Python, like what is the basic unit or what is the basic explanation of some Python units, like what are keywords, what are tokens, what are expressions. Everything we have discussed in the second video. Okay, in the third video we have discussed that what are the data types used in Python. One of them is list only. Now these three videos were somewhat the brief introduction to Python programming language. From the fourth video we have somewhat started a more depth explanation of each topic. The first topic was conditional statements, or simply conditionals. If else, okay, if elif, if else, nested if. Okay, so these all are conditionals. In the fifth video we have seen that what are the functions in Python, predefined function as well as the user defined functions. In the sixth video we have seen that what are loops and how many loops exists in Python. First one was the for loop and second while loop, and we have also seen a combination of for loop and while function. Then I have created some of videos, like 4 or 5 videos, in which I have created different patterns like pyramid or diamond of numbers or star, just to practice loops and conditionals. Then from the 7th video we have started a more depth explanation of the data types used in Python. The first one was the string manipulation, and now in this video we're gonna discuss about list manipulation. Okay, so first of all let's understand that what are lists. So lists are standard data types used in Python. If you want to know that how many data types exist in Python, I'll provide the link in the I button as well as in the description. You can watch that video. Okay, so list is one of the standard data types used in Python that can store a sequence of numbers, a sequence of values, and that value can be anything. It can be of any data type. It can be a string, it can be an integer, it can even be a list. Okay, and these square brackets denotes the list. Now let me practically show you that what list is and how it is different from some of its very resembling data types. Okay, so let's open a Python shell. So to create a simple list we simply write a variable a is equal to, if you want to store this list into a variable, you write a and then the list here. It can be anything. We can also write something inside here. We can also create a list inside. Just a second, we can also create a list inside a list. So this is a sequential data type which stores sequence inside. There you can see comma separated values, and this is different from tuple. Now if you already know tuple, then you must be confused that it resembles exactly to tuples. So how it is different? So tuples are not changeable. Okay, tuples and strings values cannot be changed, but in list we can change the values. Like if I want to write 1, 2, 3 and 6, I can change the value at this index, but in tuples or strings we cannot do that. This is the difference of list. Okay, there are many differences, but for now, for beginners, this is all you want to know. A string, just a second, a string stores a sequential data which looks somewhat like this. Any number or any string or any data type separated by comma can be stored in a list. Okay, now let's move on to our next topic, which is accessing the list elements. So this is somewhat a self explanatory example. There you can see this is a list of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if we want to access a specific element of this list, let's say this number 2, then we provide the index of that element. Understand index as the address of that element in this list. Okay, the indexing in Python starts from 0, so 0 stays at 0 index, 1 at 1, 2 at 2, and 3 at 3, and so on. So let me show you a very different example so that you can understand. Let's take this example only, and if I write a of, let's say, 6, then there you can see 6 was a list that we have entered inside a list. If you want to extract a of 4, then there you can see at the 4th index 5 is stored. Okay, now I guess you got my point. If you want to access a specific element in a list, you have to specify the address at which that element is located. Okay, there are two types of indexing in list. First is forward and second is backward indexing. In forward indexing, we start from the left side and then move towards the right hand side in this manner, and we go like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But in reverse indexing, we go from right hand to the left hand side, and in this the indexing starts from the negative side. This is -1. This is not 0, but this is -1. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and so on. So this is how we index a list. Okay, now let's move on to our next topic, which is the list operations. Now you can perform a number of operations on a list. So let's see what are them. Now you can join two lists using a simple plus command. So I'll not just tell you, I'll practically show you that how this is happen. This will happen. So let's create a list, say 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 4. So a list is created. Let's create a B list of, let's say, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, B list is also created, and now let's add them. A plus B. There you can see the elements of both the lists have been added, and this has created a new list. Now if I do C is equal to A plus B, then the value in C will be the addition of these two lists. Okay, so pretty simple, but it has a limitation. Let's say that you want to add a string to this list. Now you cannot use this plus operand. Like, let's say that I want to add A with 1. So let me do this. We can't do this because the list cannot be concatenated or cannot be added with any other data type. Okay, now let's move on to our next topic, which is how to replicate a list. I guess nothing is missing. Okay, so let's say how to replicate or how to multiply a list. Let's say that we are having this same A list, and we want to multiply this 2 times, or we want just the elements to be multiplied twice. So there you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So elements have just replicated themselves. Okay, now let's see how to do slicing. So these are some of the very important operations, slicing and indexing, because you're gonna use these techniques in some real life projects. Like when I was creating that music player project, I have used the list slicing and actually not slicing, I have used the list indexing to get the names of the music files. So if your basic concepts are strong, then you can work on really good projects and just take out your creativity and create something awesome. Okay, so let's see what are slicing. So first let's understand that what do you mean by slicing. Let's say that we have a list. This is a list and we want to slice or cut this list into a specific portion. Let's say that I want to get after this 2 and below this 4. I want to extract this small list. So what I'll do is I'll give the index of this 2 and the index of 4. like there you can see 1 and 3, the index of list 1. Let's create a list 1, and then we are writing the value of 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, let's press enter, and then list actually is list 1 from the index 1 to 3. So from the index 1, so 0 and 1. So from the second to the third, so 0 1 2 3. Okay, so 4 is excluded and 2 is included, because I have already told you that the starting value in Python is included and the ending value is excluded. I have explained you in the range function, I guess. Okay, so if I run this, there you can see 2 and 3. Okay, so now let's move on to our next topic, which is some of the list functions. So list provide some of very handy functions which we can use to perform operations. So first of all, let's see that how we can add an element into a list using these three methods. Okay, so the first method is append. Let's say that you want to add an element to the very last of a list. So what you can do is you can write the list here, and then list 1, which is the name of the list, dot append, and then the value, and that value will be added at the last of that specific list. Okay, now let's see how extend work. Somewhat similar to append, there is just one difference of extend from append, and that is we can add multiple elements using this extend function. In append, we can only provide one number or one parameter, but in extend we can provide multiple parameter. Let me show you how this is gonna work. So let's say list 1 dot append, just a second, append, and then we enter a value, let's say a. This should be a string, otherwise it will raise an error. Okay, so if we print list 1, there you can see a is added at the last of this list. Now if I try to add multiple elements here, I will get an error because append takes only one argument but two were given. Okay, this problem can be solved using the list dot extend. So let me write extend, just a second, extend, and then we can write the values here. Okay, 1 2 3 4. How many values you want to enter? Just a second. Actually we have to write the parameter as a sequence itself, so let's write a sequence inside, and now let's see that how our list 1 is looking. So there you can see 1 2 3 4 has been added at the last of the string. Now let's do the same using our append function. So let's write append. Let's not append, it's append, and there you can see that the element is added but it remains a list. So the last one counts as one element or one item only. In the extend one, we have seen that each element has been added to the list and represent different element, but by using the append function we can only add one element here. Okay, now let's move on. Let's see that how we can delete a specific element from a list, or delete a whole list, or delete a specific sub list from a list using Python. So first method or function is pop function. Let's say that you want to delete a specific element which is located at this index. So let me show you. I won't just say. So list 1 dot pop, and then we'll specify the index here. Let's say 0. Actually I have used the wrong brackets here, just a second, at the 0. And if we see our list 1, there you can see that the first element or the element present at the 0th index has been removed. Okay, so this is how the pop function works. let's say that you want to delete a sub list from a list. Let's say that you want to remove the first 4 elements. So what we'll do is we'll write del function and then the list name list1 and then starting value which is 0 and then the ending value which is, let's say, 4. So let's run this, and if we run our list1 again, there you can see that the first 4 elements have been deleted. Now let's say that you came across a problem statement where you didn't know that what is the index. It is a big list and you want to remove a specific value and you don't know that what is the index of that specific element. So what you'll do is you'll write the list name dot remove and then you'll write that value. Okay, let's say that I want to remove 1. Okay, so let's press this, and if I see our list1 again, there you can see that 1 is removed. Now for all those smart minds, this is a list. These 4 are not the elements of the list. These 4 elements are inside a list which is inside a list. So these 4 elements are not part of the bigger list. These 2 are part of the smaller list. Okay, so now let's move on to our next topic. Just a second, which is how you can update a value. Now this is not a function, but I have added to this sequence because I thought this would be nice teaching flow, because there you can see first we have added, then we have deleted, then we'll update. Okay, so if you want to update a specific value, let's say that I don't want the first element of this list to be as a, I want this to be a value. So what I'll do is I'll write list1 of the index 0, which is the first element, and I'll then write something value here. Okay, then if I print this list1, there you can see that the value has been replaced or this list has been updated. Okay, now let's say that you want to reverse this list. You want that the order or the indexing of the list to be reversed. So what you'll simply do is you'll write list1, the name of the list, and then reverse. Okay, and this is a function. Okay, now let's print our list1, and there you can see our elements have changed the indexing. Okay, so our last function of this video is sort. Let's create a new list, and then we'll write numbers in random arrangement. Okay, and you want to write them into ascending order. Okay, you want to sort them, so there's a Python function for that also. You'll write list1, which is the name of the list, dot sort, and then run this. If we write list1, there you can see that our list has been sorted. Now let's say that you want to do this in descending order. So what you will do is I'll create this list once again, and then instead of reverse with no parameters inside, I'll write reverse is equal to true. Just a second, true. Okay, and this is not reverse, this is sort function. This is sort function. Reverse is equal to 2. If we now print our list1 list, there you can see that the numbers in this list are arranged in the descending order. If you write the alphabets here, then the alphabets will be arranged according to their arrangement in the English alphabets. Okay, so this is it. This was a short video in which I have tried to explain you as much topics related to list as possible. Now this is not possible to include all the topics because this is something beyond the scope of any mentor. You can learn programming only by practicing. Create some projects, use list in them, and just practice. Okay, so this is it, and I'll meet you in my next lecture where we'll discuss something else. Okay, so meet you there. Bye bye.